This is a lesson right here for producers. You ain't selling your beat. A lot of producers think they're selling their beat. Nah. You're not selling your beat. What you are selling to a label, the rights to the master and the copyright. That's what you're selling. So stop selling yourself short. Know your worth. If you want this master from me, retain your master first of all. The artist is holding on to the masters now. You, the producer, giving everything to the artist. Like, here you go, take the files, take everything, and your bargaining power is gone now.
Bolo! Yes, 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 yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and we have somebody here very special to the hip-hop game. Somebody who has done a lot in the hip-hop world, rap world, trap world, everything you can imagine. He's made some serious hits, and he is now here with me at my spot. Never would have thought it would happen. But we actually have a legend in the building. Give it up for FatBoi.
What's happening? What's going on with you? Super producer, beat banger, FatBoi. Up in here with Bolo!
So me and FatBoi, we already been discussing some stuff already, right? And we've been talking about so many different things just on, you know, producer stuff, life stuff, everything else. But, you know, with you being in the game for so long, right? Like, you like legend status right now, right? You are definitely OG. I know you get the Unk vibes. You know, everybody can call you Unk. Yeah. If they call you Unk, you definitely got an OG status.
It's giving Unk.
Okay. It's giving Unk. But, you know, you've had so many big records. You know what I'm saying? You were talking about how you were scoring stuff for people. Like, let some of the people who do not know your catalog, let them know your catalog and some of the records that you were involved in, some records you did.
Whew, man. Starting off with Camouflage. Y'all Don't Want No Drama, Cut Friends. Cut Friends was my first major record that, you know, had success. Then after his death, on up to Gucci and Jeezy. Vet Passed By, My Kitchen. Of course, Wasted. Man, what Drifter with Shawty Red, and of course, you know, that ended up leading into Sexual Eruption from Snoop. Rocko.
He got it. Listen, y'all, listen. I love to do that because every producer does the same thing. They have so much stuff that they can't even think about it. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard to remember.
It's hard to remember when I catch you on the spot.
Yeah, every time.
But then it's like after the interview, it's like, oh yeah, I did this. But
you hate that too.
But I love it because it lets you know you're human.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're all human in this production game. But one thing I did want to ask, right? Working with, you know, and some of you guys who are not familiar, Camouflage was a huge rapper out of Savannah back when I was, you know, younger and I was in school or whatever, and he was like a super pioneer for the Southern hip hop thing, and Cut Friends was a huge record. And some of you younger people might know his daughter, which she's a very talented basketball player right now. She was on JD's show, the Rap Game. Now she's doing her thing in basketball or whatever, and she's still rapping, still doing her thing. But he was a huge artist at that time, and like, how did that come about working with him? I
had moved to Atlanta. I was jumping off the porch, like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Yeah. My intention was to just all the networking I could. Network. Meet everybody I could meet. And the networking was, you know, I ran into Jermaine Dupri. I even told Jermaine, like, Jermaine was looking at me like, oh, here we go, somebody's. But when this was after the Falcons won the Super Bowl, not the Super Bowl, but beat the Vikings in the NFC Championship. Yeah. And they came back that night, and we were all at Gentleman Club, and the Falcons and JD them was up in VIP upstairs. Yeah. When the club was getting ready to close, JD came down, and Falcons were coming down, and I saw JD, and sometimes we out, we just want to enjoy ourselves. We ain't trying to talk shop.
Yeah.
So I saw the look on his face already, but I didn't really want to talk no shop with him. I just wanted to tell him like, hey man, I'm FatBoi. You gonna see me again, and that's literally all I told him. Like, you gonna see me again. So it was just a whole networking thing around Atlanta. DJ Toomp, just running into people, and I don't even think Toomp probably remember the first time that I met him. You know what I'm saying? Dungeon Family, all these, everybody that was doing something in Atlanta, just placing myself around them and soaking up knowledge from them, not necessarily asking them for anything, because the way I saw it was, I'm gonna make everybody come to me. I'm not gonna go to everybody. I'm gonna give you something to come to me. I was in Atlanta for a while until my money ran out, and then when my money ran out, I went back down south, and the doors of Pure Pain was just getting ready to open. And like I said, I don't never have gone to anybody. So when the Pure Pain studio officially opened, I booked time to go there and work, because I had my own group, which consisted of my little brother and my cousins. So I booked some time to record them there, and it only took me booking 2 times before the CEO of the studio came up and started talking to me about me as a producer and my group as artists. And after that, Camouflage was part of that, coming in like, yo man, them boys dope, man. Like, and looking at me, and the next week I was producing for Camouflage.
Pretty much from there, it kind of kept going, because most people know you as the producer on one of Gucci's biggest records.
Yeah.
Which is Wasted, Wasted. Like, how'd that come about? How did they even get Gucci and Plies on the same record like that? What was the whole, how did that happen?
I'm about to give you a nugget.
Okay.
So Gucci, and a lot of people, first thing I want to speak on is his work ethic. A lot of people think that all we do in the music industry, especially in Atlanta, is nightlife.
Yeah.
It all happens at night, late at night or whatever. And to a degree, yes, because a lot of times we catching vibes, we want that club flavor. It happens during club type hours. But Gucci is an early bird when it comes to working. Gucci will come in the studio at 10 a.m. So this happened, it used to happen a lot, where Gucci would call and say he wants to come up to the studio, and this particular time, he just showed up. He was like, if something was on his mind, he would.
You got to record Gucci if he show up.
Yeah, if Gucci show up, everybody else, y'all got to go. So WAP just showed up this day and walked in the studio. It's like, Fat, what you think about a song called Wasted? That was it. What you think about a song called Wasted? Nothing else to it. He didn't have no lyrics. He didn't have a concept to speak on for the song Wasted, just the word.
Wow.
Wasted. What you think about a song called Wasted? And me, I'm real heavy into concepts, concepts make a lot of the greatest songs that we ever heard. The concept to something, and then the song matches that concept, and then you get some of the biggest records in the world. So just him saying that word Wasted, I was like, wasted, that's like a white suburban word. Like, we don't say wasted in the hood, we say fucked up.
Yeah, getting drunk.
You know what I'm saying? We don't really, that wasn't our word like that. So my producer mind started working like, wasted, man, it's a white suburban word. So if we take that, give it the right sound bed, it'll go crazy in the hood, bounce back into the suburb, and just go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because white people wasn't even saying wasted like that no more. Yeah. That was a word that I heard growing up all the time. But that generation of white people, they wasn't on wasted like that. Yeah. My thing was, and we was in mixtape mode.
Yeah.
But that concept right there made me feel like album mode. Like this could be huge. So it was my job to give it the right sound bed. I wanted to make it sound, you know, we talking about wasted. What's most people doing when they get wasted? They're out.
Yeah.
Having fun, you know, big, or if you just, like the Rams just won the Super Bowl, they getting wasted.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to make it sound like celebratory, like we just won the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I started literally producing it right there on the spot, and he started writing it right there on the spot.
What did you make that beat with? Does that sound like a Phantom and an MP?
Rolling Phantom in the MPC.
I knew it. I knew it. I kept telling my homeboy, I knew it. Which Phantom did you have? The S or the
X6?
The X6. I need to get another one of those.
Oh, I just brought the Phantom back out too. The Phantom. When people talk about trap, the trap sound and how because our OG of trap is Toon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He like the Godfather to me. Like whenever I call Toon to literally like, OG, what you think about, you know, and then he'll tell me, you know, and he'll call me youngin'. He's like, hey, what's up, youngin'?
That is Toon right there.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, he'll tell me what he think about something. Like, damn, I didn't think about it that way. But that second layer of trap after Toon with myself, Shawty Red, Drummer Boy, and Zay, the sound of trap is the Phantom.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
The sound of trap
I had
is
a
the
Phantom S. I had a Phantom S, and I still got my 2500. I still got my 2500. I should have kept my 1000. I used to love that one. Love that 1000. But I could literally knew those sounds from the lead. And then in the drums, I was like, okay, I know these drums. This has got to be MP drums. It can't be nothing else. It's got to be
MP all the way.
And it was like, you know, for a lot of you guys who are younger producers, it's like that was kind of like the setup, because you remember early, it was like you got to have a Triton. Then it was from there, because my time producing, early 2000s, I always wanted a Triton. I always wanted a motif. But then I liked the Phantom because the Phantom had what I call quick sounds. It was sounds that you can find. It's like boom, oh, quick. Motif was cool if you're somebody you really just play. You need lustrous sounds, whatever. And of course, the Triton, which everybody knows the Neptunes made a gazillion dollars off the Triton.
Yep.
But that Phantom was like that, and it had that grit in it too.
And it was dirty.
It was a dirty sound, and I had mine hooked up through the Spitter cord. I used to have mine. I had my Phantom hooked up through the Spitter into the MP, and I had the output of the Spitter go into the input of my interface. I had a clean but really big sound, but it was still gritty. It was like one of the grittiest sounds, whatever.
Yeah. During the creation, I knew Wasted was a hit probably 10 minutes into making the beat. I only made the beat and it took me about 15 minutes to make the beat. And, you know, it was a race to the finish line between me and Gucci. He was writing while I was making the beat. He had the hook and his first verse. And we probably met at the finish line around about the same time. I finished the beat and Gucci was done with the hook and the first verse. And it was already giving hit.
Yeah. It was giving hit. It was giving vibes.
I don't think Gucci saw that yet. It was cool to him. But to me and my manager, Big Ron, it was already, man, like, this thing feeling kind of good. Gucci started making calls. And what a lot of people don't know is the first call he made was to Twister.
What?
Yeah. Twister is on Wasted first. Twister has the second verse to Wasted.
Wow. That's crazy.
So, but the crazy thing is everybody that we sending this record to knew it was something potentially special about it, because Twister sent his verse back in 30 minutes. So we got the Twister verse. And my manager said, you should send it to Plies. See if Plies will do something to it. Gucci called Plies, like, yo, I got something for you, man. I'm finna send it to you right now.
Yeah.
Boom, send it to Plies. Plies immediately called back and was like, this out of here. This gone. Gucci still ain't seeing that though. It's cool. All this time, it's just cool to Gucci.
Yeah.
But everybody else is getting a different vibe from it. Like, man, this shit is out of here. So Plies calls back, 30 minutes, crazy. Send his verse through. We all hear it, crazy. But the verse didn't start off, I don't wear tight jeans like the white boys. That's the back part of the verse.
Wow.
The verse actually starts, walked in the club, pocket full of big faces. I cut it, put the I don't wear tight jeans like the white boys part first, and the rest in the back. And that's how I was able to drop the beat. I don't wear tight jeans like the white boy, but I do get wasted. Like it just had that, you know, and
that's incredible. I would have never known that.
Yeah, that's how that came about.
That's crazy, and then it goes off to be a mega hit.
Yeah. Now, it's even more to that there too, because like I said, Gucci, it was just cool to Gucci. Gucci never saw that record as the record it became to be. So I made the beat 15 minutes. Gucci wrote, you know, he came back and did the second verse after Plies did his, but he did the hook in the first verse, 15 minutes. And it took me a week to turn that record into the hit it became, though. Because I knew that record was special. I didn't want to drop the ball on it.
Yeah.
So I literally tossed and turned, dissected, did everything. You know, how can I make this record a slam dunk? And it was still people doubting the record. To the point where I ended up leaking that record, and that's how it became what it was, because they were getting ready to go with another record.
Wow.
That had Snoop on it called Party Animal. That drummer did.
So you had to go ahead and leak it.
I had to leak it because I don't think if that record leaks, I don't know if Wasted becomes the record it ended up becoming, because it caught the world by storm.
Wow.
But it caught the world by storm because it was a leak. If that record came out behind Party Animal on, what was that mixtape? Was that No Walls, or what was that? Because it was initially came from that mixtape right there. But if it just ended up coming out on that mixtape,
yeah,
I don't know if it becomes what it became. But it was just out of nowhere, here's this record from Gucci. Didn't sound like nothing else that he did, and it just went crazy that way. And even Plies was calling them like, "Hey man, what you gonna do about this record, man? This shit going crazy." And I think what finally made Gucci understand that this record was a runaway hit was Plies did it for the Memphis birthday bash. You know, whatever theirs is. Plies did that record, and there's video footage of it on YouTube where the crowd went bonkers when he did that record. Bonkers. Like I had never seen anything like, well, I'd seen stuff, but it was Michael Jackson.
Right.
It Prince. It was, you know, it was all the mega stars when they do their hits. It's like, oh man, I wish I could have a crowd do something like that to my record.
And it went crazy like that.
It was going crazy like that. It forced Gucci, because he was doing shows and people were like, do Wasted, do Wasted, do Wasted. And Gucci didn't even know the lyrics. He didn't know it because he wrote it that day, and that was the last he looked back at that record.
Wow.
And people were forcing him to do Wasted, and he was like, wow, this record is special. So that record, man, it's a real story behind that record, man. I don't know if that record turns into what it turns into.
But like one thing that we was talking about like earlier too was communication. A lot of stuff we had to do was, like I talk about, a lot of stuff was hand-to-hand combat or whatever. But like with that record and probably other records you had to have a lot of communication with you and the artist. With you working with somebody like Gucci, how was the communication working with him during that time when it was like Gucci, street Gucci, you know what I'm saying? Because I only met Gucci twice with Polo, but I know you was in the studio with him. How was that working with him and an artist like that who's just always been on top of his game forever?
So that's actually a great question, because we are the bridge to where things are now.
Yeah.
So we're still at the point where communication was key. Yeah. Direct communication.
Face-to-face.
Face-to-face communication, because the internet, I mean, we had iPhone 1. iPhone 1 was out. It was a big thing when iPhone 1 came out, but the transition to communication to how it is now was still a gradual thing, because everybody couldn't afford iPhone 1 yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and it was people that didn't want to let go of Blackberries and stuff like that. The Sidekick and all that.
Still chirps and
chirp, you know what I'm saying? So all that was still going on. And the leading social media platform was still MySpace. And Gucci would communicate with me on MySpace sometime. If he was trying to reach me and he either changed his number or I changed my number or something like that. YouTube hadn't popped yet. And Twitter wasn't existent yet. Yeah. It wasn't in existence. Like Gucci didn't have a problem getting you on the phone. If he wanted to talk about something, it's WAP. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you know, texting wasn't even what it is now. Yeah. It was still, I got to hear your voice. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? In the studio, the one thing that if you could develop trust with Gucci, Gucci would do anything you wanted him to try. Okay. And vice versa. You know, because if it was an idea I had and I could throw it out to Gucci, Gucci trusted me enough, he might not be with it. Yeah. But because of that trust, because of our communication, building up that trust, he would try it. Okay. And vice versa. If it was something that he got an idea, I'm like, he like, Fat, I trust you. Trust me on this one. Okay. You right. I trust you. Let's do it. Because of that communication like that, with how it was with artists, especially for older producers like us, that come from, like, communication is key and that trust is everything, going on into send it culture. And I can't stand send it culture. Send it. Like, man, I got to see you, man. I got to see your vibe. I got to see how you. So you would rather have somebody there with you in the studio? I got to, man. Like, I make my best beats when somebody's there. I think I make my best music when people are there. I think a lot of times now you communicate with other producers now. You might have 3 producers in the room making one beat, but then the beat gets sent off. Yep, and then the beat gets sent. And then I think if we should do that, I think it should go back to the ways of where when everybody, I remember back in the day where they used to have the artists, the A&R, the writers, the producers, the engineers, sometimes even other label staff all together. All together in the room. Bouncing ideas. And some of the best songs used to get made that way. Absolutely, man. Nothing is going to stay as it was. I mean, that's the gift and curse of technology. Yeah. We adapt and grow. I know you can feel it. The generation that's listening to this music, they don't know any better. But those that come from that key communication, everybody in the room bouncing off ideas and stuff, I can hear that lost in a lot of today's music. Like, I don't feel that in the music. Like, it could have been easy as that, hey, redo that part over, pull this part back a little bit. I think we need to say it this way. Yep. All of my biggest hits, I was there, and I've always made key changes. Yeah. To no, don't say it that way. Yep. Bring your pitch down this way. Say it this way. Hold on, slow that part down. Let's move this back over here. Let's switch that up the same way like how you did. Absolutely. And I think that's like how you say it's definitely a lost art, and I think that more people need to get to it. Now I got to ask this question: how was it dealing with labels then than it is now? Dealing with labels back then, the labels really valued the producer's input. The A&Rs would really came to you looking for you to deliver that hit that they knew you could deliver. Yeah. Labels were more willing to cut the checks. Let's get that out there. The labels were more willing to cut the checks because they knew that you were going to deliver a quality product. And not only just from that aspect of it right there, but the work environment. Like when we were working on these albums with these artists, we were always in a patchwork, a Tree Sound, an 11th Street. Good quality. We were in those studios where my stuff up here too now. Your studio, like us as producers, we still have the same type thing with producers. And do you think it comes from the Lil Wayne effect when everybody seen Lil Wayne recording on the road? That kind of started it because it took the master out of the producer's hands.
Say that again.
And that's what I was alluding to right there, because right now in your environment, you still control the environment.
Yeah.
You still have the master when somebody comes here to work with you.
Yeah.
And
because you could be making a beat and somebody could be in LA or they could be in a whole nother, and then it's just like you turn around and they already got the thing turned into the.
It's turned in, and our input started slowly leaving the situation. Like us as producers, we know that record ain't ready yet.
Yeah.
It's not ready. It can be better. You know what I'm saying? And I think when we hear, like I think there's artists that I think put the time into. I think Drake puts the time into turning in a quality product. There's artists, Kendrick Lamar takes the time, you know. So there are artists that take the time to still turn in a quality product. But a lot of that quality part of the music came from the producer. We wasn't turning that record loose until it was ready.
Checks. Label checks.
Let's get into these checks.
So I was talking to Toop about it, and Toop was saying that he liked it better back then because when you were getting on an album or getting like especially a single, and you making the money off that single versus what you're getting per stream now. From back then to now, do you see a huge difference from now, or do you think that it was better back then?
I personally liked it better back then, because I could do an accurate accounting of my stuff. Number one, I can see what those numbers are physically doing, you know, in which I used to do. Like I used to literally go to Billboard, see numbers right there. I used to go to Media Play or whatever it was called. I forgot what it's called, but I had an executive's login.
Yeah.
And I use his login to see what all the executives were looking at, the real numbers, not any, you know, because mom and pops, like, the more things change, the more they stay the same. So whatever techniques that were used back in the day, because there's always been techniques to fudge numbers. You can inflate numbers, but we use the mom and pop stores, which don't exist anymore, to do that. So you got cool with somebody at a mom and pop store, 10 mom and pop stores, and they're scanning your,
oh yeah,
you know, doop, 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 doop. They scanning the barcode on your CD.
Okay.
And now you fudge the streaming numbers. You know what I'm saying? So there's always a way to get over.
Yeah.
But you can still see there's no place to really go and look at real streams. Like, how do I see the real streams? What's the real streams? So, and how do you get an accounting of streams? They're numbers that somebody can play with. You can really play with these stream numbers, and you know what I mean? So to you, you thinking you really streaming this, but your real stream numbers, so they say.
So do you think you still would make around about the same amount of money?
No.
Oh, good.
Not for me.
Ooh. Boy.
For me,
so you're saying
the money was more physically for me.
Okay, because I know back then you had the single, the maxi single,
all of that,
and then Brian, when you came out with one of your biggest songs, it was ringtones.
Yep.
It was all that, and then everything was accounted for, and you made a big lump of money at that time on top of the publishing and everything else. But it was more or less, you're saying the accuracy was a lot better, and hey, this ain't right.
Yep. I think so. And if you felt something was wrong, you could get an accounting of it. You could get your attorney to like, yo, yeah. Or if money didn't come out on time, yo, hey, bro, can we check on this? Because, you know, it's been 6 months. They tardy. While we at it, let's get an accounting. Let's see where we are so we can really keep up with these numbers. So I can expect the number that's coming in. I know what's coming in from all these records.
So
now,
it was actually probably a better time for auditing too back then, right?
Much better time for auditing because you know there's physical numbers that you can really keep up with. You know what I mean? I mean not just the fact of the numbers that you can go to, but you could also feel what it's really doing.
Yeah.
Today I can't feel what it's really doing because I heard Wasted Everywhere.
Yeah.
A lot of these records that are big records, I don't hear them nowhere. But they're big records. So you can't feel this record being big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for instance, Rainbow Kid.
Yeah.
I never heard a Tekashi record until Gummo, and the only reason why I heard that was because I was watching Breakfast Club. The video came on. Now the record with Nicki, of course I'm gonna hear that because Nicki on it.
Yeah.
I love Nicki. So that let me watch that Fifi. But I never heard any of his records, man. You know what I'm saying? But he's going crazy. So you can't gauge how good a record is doing no more because you can't feel it. Like it's your biggest record.
Yeah.
You could put your hand out and feel that record was doing something.
Yeah.
You could feel that record took the air out of the room for other artists that were trying to like, I can't get past this damn Salento record. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, people trying to make a record like that.
Yeah.
That record was probably the last of when you could feel a record's force, driving force.
That whole summer of 2015 was crazy. You had See You Again record. You had a whole bunch of dance records. That summer of 2015 was a good summer.
See what you don't hear anymore? What you don't hear anymore, a word that you don't hear anymore related to an era, a time frame in music is movement. Everything that Gucci was attached to a movement. Yeah. Jeezy was attached to a movement. Camouflage was attached to a movement. Yeah. The producers of my time, you know, in the beginning of trap, because you in our era.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you included in there with us. We were part of a movement.
Yeah. Like right now, if you can like go back to your younger self, like for all of the like younger producers, I usually try to ask this question last because I want you to give some of these young producers some knowledge of what they can do. And not just young, but just new producers, period. If you're 20, 30, 40, 50, you just getting started, you know, what would be some knowledge for them for today's music, for them to get ahead?
The answer really don't change because no matter what the era is, there's still some principles in success that everybody follows to this day. And the one thing that I always say is study your craft. Number one, study your craft, perfect your craft. You know, study the greats. You know, if you're that type of artist that wants to be great,
yeah,
or producer, study the greats. See, because one thing about all the greats, there was a certain pulse that all of them had. Every single last one of them. And outside of that, learn the business. Know what's going on, how you get paid, where you get paid, the inner workings of the music business that you're trying to be in. And that way nobody can ever pull the wool over your eyes. Because no matter what the era is, you got to know how this thing works. And so for new producers, new artists in this era right here, what is the business model of the music business? Because for us, we had to adapt to it.
Yeah.
Going into it, we didn't really like it. I couldn't stand it. Now I kind of like it.
Oh no, I can't stand it.
I couldn't stand it because, like we were just saying, the you know, coming off of, you know, that the physical, you know, physical units and all that, I could feel where my money was coming from. When streaming took over, I couldn't feel where my money was coming from now. And then the pennies, the fraction of a penny didn't make sense to me. So you mean to tell me just for me to see a dollar, this record has to stream 1,000 times just to see $1? You know, that just, and it still don't compute to me. It's gotten better.
Yeah.
And I can tell it's gotten better because now I've seen a lot of my older stuff. What I do like about today is a lot of my older stuff that wasn't, that were just album fillers.
Yeah.
They're making money now.
Yeah. Now, that's what I said. I think it's a blessing and a curse because now you got older records that just people just listen to it.
Yeah.
you'll still get paid for it rather than just sitting on a CD shelf somewhere. And then it's already paid for, it's already done with, you can't make no more money off of it.
It's done.
It's done, but this one, you can actually go back to it. And anyone be like, you know what, I thought about this other record the other day, go to iTunes, play it, and guess what? And people are doing it every single day, so you're gonna get a little bit of money off of it. So that's the only thing I kind of, that's the thing I kind of like about the streaming. I think that they really should up the rate, which they've been trying to up the rate for a while. I seriously think they should do it.
Keep getting pushed back from the Spotify's and
they keep getting pushed back.
Apple Music, you know.
And this has already been done, signed. Everything is supposed to be in effect, but they keep getting pushed back. And I seriously think that, you know, us as writers of the music, producers, I think that we should be compensated fairly. Because a lot of people are getting rich.
Absolutely.
Because if you look how much the music industry made last year compared to what was paid out.
Absolutely. And see, that's, okay, that right there, you hit the nail on the head to me, because it's like, okay, we made a lot of money in the physical unit. We made a lot of money. Me personally, I made an ass of money. Ass of money. But the music business as a whole wasn't making as much money as it makes now. Like, it's made the most money it's ever made.
Do you know how much money they made? They made billions. And we got paid hundreds, collectively, everybody was like
billions.
It was like 600 million, something like that.
This is a lesson right here for producers. You ain't selling your beat. A lot of producers think they're selling their beat. You're not selling your beat. What you are selling to a label, the rights to the master and the copyright. That's what you're selling. So stop selling yourself short. Know your worth. If you want this master from me, retain your master first of all. The artist is holding on to the masters now. You, the producer, giving everything to the artist. Like, here you go, take the files, take everything, and your bargaining power is gone now. You ain't got no bargaining power, because the artist got what they paying for. The master files. It's gone now. So that aspect of it, you know what I'm saying, is super important. But they're making billions now compared to the lot of millions they were making then. But all of a sudden, ain't no budget for these, you know. So I was charging 20 to 30K per song, whether it was a single or not. It was 20 to 30K. Now, if I even sneeze 20, they looking at me like, can you do it for 7,500? What? Okay. So if you do that, everything swings. Whereas 20 to 30K, and then I come into it at 3 points with escalators. If it goes gold, 3.5. If it goes platinum, full 4. But 4 ain't even full rate. It goes higher than 4. So what I'm telling you is another lesson for you guys. If they ain't gonna pay us the 20, 30, 40, 50K up front that we used to get, I want more on the back end. I don't want 3 points. I'm starting with 5. Starting with 5 on the back. Might hit you for 6. If y'all gonna take away from the front, load up that back. Load up that back. Because the one thing about us in the music industry, especially coming from the physical part of it, this really accounted for the physical part. It was kind of like the NFL. Only a certain degree of contract is guaranteed.
That's right.
And for us as producers, the guaranteed part for most of the records was the upfront money. Because a lot of these records, we might not see the back end because they don't do well enough.
Yeah.
Unless it's a hit. And every record we do ain't always going to be a hit. And some producers don't have the fortune of even having a hit. Their whole career, all their records were fillers.
Yeah.
So the guaranteed money is up front. So why not give me all my guaranteed, the most I can get up front? And if you're not going to honor that part for me, backload my contract. Before we sign out, that's one thing that I do want to touch upon. I do think we hear so much of everybody sounding so much the same because everybody's using the same drum sounds because everybody passes drum sounds around now. You know, but what's funny about that is one of the main snares that everybody is using is my snare. It's my wasted snare. I left it open, you know, in the instrumental, whenever the beat drops out, the snare hits by itself one time.
They got it.
And they got it, which I you know, the only thing I used to be concerned about was people getting the 808s. So I made sure I never left the 808 open, but you might catch a snare occasionally open like that. For some reason, you can get a triangle everywhere, but people were sampling the triangle from Wasted. Like, and it's the exact triangle because it's real dirty because it came from an SP1200.
Wow.
Sampled into the MPC. So it's like, why y'all getting that dirty ass triangle? It's super dirty, but maybe the dirt is what they liked about it. But that snare, I don't care if it's Lil Baby, Drake, Future, Migos, I don't care who the artist of today is, Cardi B, they are all using my wasted snare. Literally, because now 808s vary, 808s vary, but the most common used snare in hip hop right now today, especially trap, is my wasted snare. And that's like I've gotten into, okay, y'all gonna steal my sounds, I'm gonna steal y'all sounds too. So I've gotten packs, and I listen to the packs, and I hear my snare in everybody else's pack. Might have a different mix on it, you know, it might have some different grid or something like that, but I know my sound when I hear it. It's like, man, that's that same snare.
I'm hearing what you did on it, and I know you put multiple samples on them pads, and I know what you did.
Yes.
See, people who don't use MPs don't know what's going on, but I know what you did.
I stacked them sounds.
I know you stacked them. I know what you did too.
I stack them.
But I can't find the exact sound.
Yeah.
But I know what you did, and I'm like, boy, he stacked, because that's what I used to do. Sounds. Yeah, I used to know what you do. But
and that's why I know you got my snare, because I stacked it a certain way. And I know what I stacked it with. There's 3 sounds in that one snare. So if you hit the one pad, yeah, it sounds like one snare is coming out, but there's actually 3 different sounds to create that one snare the way it is. So whenever I hear that snare, I'm like, that's absolutely my snare.
No, we ain't gonna get into that.
Part 2.
Part 2. But
Part 2.
Man, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you so much, man.
I love it, man.
And this is an honor to have this interview. And I hope you guys learned something from it, man. I really hope y'all did. And we got to do a part 2 real soon. So y'all give up one more time for FatBoi, and we're going to be back real soon.
Yes, sir. We out.